Non-linear.
Put the Google down.
Mispronouncing linear.
Linear. Whichever
Suda,
one,
how old
bro.
are you? Suda, how old are you for TikTok purposes?
I'm 19.
Okay. And do you believe in God?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards theism.
Why?
I think a lot of arguments might be sufficient to prove the existence of God.
Yeah, give one argument.
So, what do you think about Avicenna's argument?
Which one? The contingency argument?
Yeah.
What about it? Is it there could be infinite regress of contingent things, right?
Do you believe in B theory?
B theory of time, yeah.
It can be under A theory as well.
No, I don't think infinite regress would be sufficient under A theory. I don't think you could cash that out.
Why? What's the argument for that?
So, a way to think of it would be, say you have a set of infinite dominoes, and you push one at the front. It'll never reach the end, or
in
it
that
never reach
example,
wherever we are.
you start
Yeah.
a finite sequence in an infinite set. That's just question begging.
Wait, so how else would you cash out an infinite regress look like? I think an infinite regress is somewhat unintelligible. Whenever you try to...
Eligible.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's unintelligible?
Why do I think it's unintelligible? I haven't seen a valid explanation of it, or
I also haven't seen Cage give an argument for relaxed realism. Doesn't mean I reject relaxed realism, right?
No, but I'm not saying that you haven't given an argument for an infinite regress. Therefore, an infinite regress is unintelligible. I'm just saying it seems like you can't really define an infinite regress. So it seems pretty unintelligible.
Well, no, that's not
the point I was making. The point I was implying was that just because I haven't seen something doesn't give reason to reject the view. In any case, an infinite regress can be defined as an infinite set of members.
But I didn't say that. I haven't seen an argument for it. Therefore, I reject it.
I didn't say it was an argument. I didn't say you said there was an argument.
You did say that earlier.
No, I didn't. I just said I haven't seen Cage give an argument for relaxed realism. Doesn't mean I reject relaxed realism. The obvious entailment of what I was saying was that just because you haven't seen it cashed out properly doesn't mean there isn't a way to cash it out, in which I was cashing it out for you.
That's why I said, in my opinion, I believe it's unintelligible.
Well, that's why I'm going to cash it out for you, right?
You know, regress is.
Well, that's why I said I was going to cash it out for you.
Listen. Besides the point, Avicenna's argument avoids an infinite regress of contingent causes, because all the contingent causes would be within the set of all contingents. So we're not even dealing with the argument here.
All right. Why would we reject the BCCF?
The BCCF? I'm not familiar with
that. Why would we accept the BCCF?
Which is what?
The big conjunction contingent fact. You don't know the argument?
The big conjunction of contingent facts?
Yes.
Like the set of all contingent.
I think this is strike 2, bro.
Or doesn't even know the argument? Well, I do know the argument. I can.
Well, you realize that's one of the formulations of the argument. They use the CECF to explain the whole set of contingent facts.
The Stanford Encyclopedia doesn't mention it. I don't think it's...
Well, because you're only reading from the SCP, you should read the philosophers who publish about it, right?
I haven't, besides Edward Fraser, I don't think it's even mentioned by many philosophers.
You don't have the context to understand if it's intelligible or not. You're kind of making a blanket statement because you don't understand. It's intelligible because obviously pensive understands it, and so do the people who published about it. So that's where you would go to find out more about it.
No, I said infinite regress is unintelligible.
I was going to.
That's even relevant.
We know what you said.
No one's confused about what you're saying. We understand fully what you're saying. You know, it's the same script from these type of arguments, right? So we're just asking why it's unintelligible.
An infinite regress?
Yep.
I don't think it can be defined. I haven't seen a definition for it. So I said, in my opinion, it's unintelligible. I don't think it can be defined.
That's not how unintelligible works. Go look up a definition. Go study it. And then if it's something that
Unintelligible.
has logical contradictions, then
That's not what unintelligible means. Unintelligible doesn't mean logically impossible.
you might as well just say you're not intelligent.
Dude,
Are you like retarded? Are you
Pseudo.
using intelligibility and logical impossibility?
Pseudo.
Oh, you can't say that word.
Do you think that something unintelligible? Okay, well, first of all,
He can't say that word.
Yeah, I know. Wherever his punk ass is, and something unintelligible would literally mean something that we cannot conform to within our understanding of. So it would be illogical, you dumbass.
No,
Dude,
hold on,
like,
wait.
you're making
Well, wait.
Well, look,
let's
I was going to define an infinite regress for you.
Go ahead, define it, bro.
A sequence of past events where for no first event such that for any event you pick, there is an earlier one before it.
So basically a set of infinite previous events. That's it.
No, a set of finite infinite events.
A set of finite infinite events.
Yeah, there's no property of infinite in the members.
Well, I mean, that doesn't really... that's not really descriptive of an infinite regress, because an infinite regress has something to do with causality. You're just saying, well, there exists a set of infinite previous events, okay? I mean, that doesn't even establish a causal relation between them.
What do you think the relationship between the members entails?
The members of what?
Presumably the chain, but, I'll grant that little mistake. Presumably the relationship between each member. What do you think the entailment is between them?
I don't know. You're the one that's giving the definition. Didn't mention a causal
obviously it's implicitly assumed that you would bake in a theory of causality into the infinitist thesis, but we can just excuse the little
usually
blunder.
when giving a definition, you're exhaustively explaining what something is.
Presumably that's what I did when I gave you the explanation.
No, because you didn't mention a causal relation at all.
What do you think? Do you think when I say an infinite regress, the causal relation in question is that there is an earlier than event, or was it something else?
I think the causal relation wouldn't be just there existing an earlier event. It would be
really hard to stuff that answer the question.
I answered the question.
Wait, was it the answer to the disjunct I gave, or was it like something else you just wanted to make up for fun?
It's when you asked, well, what do you think the causal relation is? When I say there exists a previous event. Well, I don't think there's a causal relation.
Syntax error.
There exists a previous event.
Did you hear the disjunct I gave in there? Or do you mean?
Or no, I didn't hear that, bro.
Oh, okay, I grant that.
Or. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
Sorry, that was really funny. Okay, you're gonna have to give me that caught me off guard.
It wasn't that funny, bro.
I just saw the movie, that's why, and they played it. Okay. Can you... Okay, for the definition I gave of an infinite regress, right? What about it is problematic again? Sorry.
You didn't mention a causal relation between the previous events. You're just saying, well, there exists a set of infinite previous finite events. Okay. An infinite set. It wouldn't really. It doesn't establish a causal relation between.
Well, the point of the infinite regress, at least in some of the arguments, is to establish a temporal set of infinite events, and for all infinite event, you can index it to a specific number, like say the negative integers, in which case that would be sufficient.
But another question, about the infinite regress, wouldn't that just be bloating your ontology, and you'd be committed to an infinite set of previous events?
It's only one ontology. It's all natural events. It's just the ontology of the natural or the physical position.
What do you mean? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm stating that you'd have an infinite set of ontological commitments.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many things are within an ontology. It matters how many ontologies you have. If you hold an ontology of physicalism, if you have an ontology, I don't know if you realized, but I was still speaking. If you have an ontology such as naturalism or an ontology such as physicalism, then all physical things fall under that singular ontology.
Yeah, I'm aware, but if you've read
Okay,
Quine,
then I
you
don't
know
have
that
extra
one of his.
ontological
Can you
commitment.
stop cutting me off and then complaining
I'm
when I
glad
cut
you.
you off?
I'm glad you agree.
I didn't even agree. I said if you've read Quine, you'd know that a major argument against a particular any sort of thesis would just be talking about the ontological parsimony of this thesis, how many ontological commitments they would have, a person would have. It's a good argument against an infinite regress when I ask you, well, wouldn't you just have an infinite set of ontological commitments? Unlike me,
I just
I would
told
just
you I
have
don't
one.
have an infinite set of ontological commitments. I have a singular ontological commitment that holds an infinite set. You have a second ontological commitment when you hold to a supernatural position.
I'm sorry,
You
you
must
have
hold to
one
the
ontological
natural
commitment
and
that has an infinite
supernatural,
set.
whereas I
Let me.
simply hold to the physical. If I hold an infinite number of physical things under physicalism, I still only hold to physicalism.
Do you think? Wait, do you think physicalism is one ontological commitment?
Yes, physicalism would be a singular ontology, yes.
Yeah, it's. I mean, sure, it's an ontology, but within that, you would have like a lot of ontological commitments. So a
Which
naturalist would
all
have.
fall
Do you
under
think?
physicalism.
Yeah, but
They
there
are
are
all
multiple ontological
subsets. They are
commitments.
all
They're counted. You
subsets
can
of
count them. You
physicalism.
can count them, dude. So say you're a naturalist, okay? You would have less ontological commitments than someone who's not a naturalist who believes in the supernatural. You would just only be committed to natural stuff. So like, yeah, obviously naturalism under your view, you consider naturalism to be an ontological commitment, but within that, you'd have fewer ontological commitments than someone else. So
And the only
I don't
ontological
think you know what an
commitment you
ontological
must hold
commitment is.
to at that point in time is the naturalism because it covers everything else.
No, do you think that's like a way to avoid like multiple ontological commitments? Just classify it all as one view, and then I'm only committed to that view. I'm
All
not.
right, so
So therefore I only have one
I
ontological commitment.
if we both hold to physical or natural existing, we both hold
Wait, can you
to
define an ontological
physicalism.
commitment real quick? Can you define that?
I'm
Can you
speaking,
define an
you can shut
ontological
up.
commitment? Sure.
Yeah, after I'm done talking, how about that? So if we both hold to naturalism, both hold to the natural world existing, if we both hold to physicalism, both hold to physical things existing, then my ontology for physicalism is the
Physicalism
same
is the
as
view
your
that physical things
ontology
exist.
of physicalism. I'm being very simple in the wording here because I don't think you really understand what I'm saying. So I'm trying to
Sure,
dumb it
bro.
down
Sure,
kitty
sure, sure.
style for you.
Sure,
So
bro. Sure,
if
sure,
we
sure.
both hold the ontology that covers physicalism, yet you have another ontology of a metaphysical position or a supernatural position or anything else, you now hold more ontologies than I do. I don't need an infinite number of ontologies within physicalism just because there's an infinite regression.
Yeah,
You can have an infinite
sure. Okay, are you
regress
done?
of a, no, I'm not. You can have an infinite regress of a single concept and it would still be an infinite regress holding only one ontology.
Yeah, okay, so can you define an ontological commitment real quick? I don't think you know what an ontological commitment is.
What, you want me to look it up and give you the actual definition of it?
Oh, so you don't know what an ontological commitment is? Oh,
No,
that's
I
funny. Why
asked
would you
you.
be
I
arguing about
asked
the
you a
multiplicity of
question.
ontological commitments when you
I
don't know what
asked
an
you a
ontological commitment is?
question. I didn't say I don't know what an
No.
ontological commitment
I
is.
mean,
I
if you're
asked you
gonna
a
look it up, it's pretty
question.
clear that you don't know it. So can you define it for me real quick? I'm asking you if you can define it.
I'll give you the definition.
Oh, you're looking it up right now? Oh, like, that's cool.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool. So
because
we're arguing about
you
a
asked
topic
me
that you
for
don't
the
even know the
definition,
basics of.
right?
You don't
Who
know what
says I
an
don't know what
ontological
an
commitment is.
ontological commitment is? An ontological commitment is the price you pay philosophically for saying something is real enough to show up in your theory, right?
Yeah,
If you
so
claim a theory is true or even just useful, you inherit whatever entities or theories require to make sense. Okay, so what is
okay.
required for
No,
physicalism to make sense?
let me just clarify something
I'm
real quick.
asking you a
If
question. Don't
you've read,
clarify shit.
if you
Go
no,
ahead
I
and
have to
tell me
clarify
what is
because you're misrepresenting.
required for
You're
physicalism.
misrepresenting basic
No, I'm
ontology. You
not.
don't know basic ontology. I'm
No,
sorry to
I'm
tell you
not.
this. You don't
I'm
know basic
asking you a
ontology. If
question.
you've read,
What is
listen,
required
let me
for
clarify something.
physicalism?
If you had read Quine's paper on what there is, where he actually explains what an
It is a set
ontological
of
commitment
things you
is,
must accept as existing
you'd
or at
know
least
that an
as part
ontological
of your
commitment
model in order
just
for a theory
what you
statement
believe
or
exists
scientific
given the
framework to work.
propositions
So
that you accept as true. So
tell
Quine would use this,
me,
for example, to argue
I don't
against
care about
Platonism
Quine.
or realism not being
Tell me,
universal. He's the
pseudo,
father of
what
ontology, dude.
is
What do you mean I don't care about
required
Quine? Why would you be
What
arguing about
is
ontology? You don't know.
required for a physical
This is just
system to
embarrassing, bro.
exist?
This is just embarrassing. This is just
What
embarrassing.
is?
You're
Yeah,
getting
it's embarrassing
philosophically
that you are
and intellectually
scared
deep.
of.
Like, this
It's
is just beautiful.
embarrassing that you're scared to answer a question from somebody you think doesn't know what ontology means. That would be embarrassing. If you think I
You
don't know
don't
what it
know what
means
an
and you're still
ontological commitment is.
terrified to answer my question, that would
Terrified
be
from what, dog? You
embarrassing.
don't know what.
So
I'm
tell me
asking you.
what is
I'm asking you.
required
Okay, I'll
for
let you
a
finish. Then I'll explain.
physical system to exist.
Well, how's that
Can you
relevant?
tell me?
All right, hold on.
Because
I'm gonna
that's
cut
what is
Pensive.
required in ontology, Pseudo.
Pensive.
What's
They're arguing
required?
about fucking ontological claims.
Yeah, he's saying that there's an infinite requirement for ontologies to hold to a physical
No, that's
position.
not what I said.
What
I
is
said
the
that you would have an
required?
infinite set of ontological commitments. And
You
then when I asked him
don't.
to
It's
define what an
not
ontological commitment is,
required.
when he was
It's not
arguing for it, he
required.
couldn't define it. He couldn't define an
So go
ontological
ahead and
commitment.
tell
So it's
me
clear that he
if
doesn't
I
know basic
have
ontology.
an infinite physical system, what is the
What do you mean an
least
infinite physical system? What does that
requirement?
even mean? What's an
What
infinite
is
physical
the
system?
least? We're talking about temporal infinity right now. So for any state
Temporal
or
infinity?
any moment n, a moment n minus one exists.
Yeah, okay, how's that relevant?
Do you have a problem with that? Okay, so that's what
The
we're talking about. A
proposition?
physical system where any moment n, a previous moment n minus one exists. Do you have a problem with that?
That's just saying, like, time is eternal.
Yes, I am talking about an infinite system, an unbounded system. That's what infinite means, temporally within a physical system. So, okay, now you know what we're talking about. What is required? What is the
Can I speak now?
requirement for this system to exist?
Can I speak for a second? Can I speak for
I
a
would
second?
like you to answer the question that you've been dodging the entire time.
Can you repeat
I've
the question?
repeated it.
Can you
Repeat the
repeat it again?
question. Okay.
Repeat it again.
For an infinite regress of a physical system, what is the base requirements for that system to exist?
An infinite time period and an infinite set of physical events.
Okay. So if all we're talking about the time period is the physical things that exist, right? We are only talking about the existence of physical. That is one
Yeah, and I'm saying,
ontology.
dude,
One.
like the issue is that you keep on interrupting me when I'm trying to speak, and then you just keep on blabbering.
Saying
Like you don't
there's
let me
an
finish.
infinite regress
Even if
of
I let you
physical
finish.
does
See, you're
not
doing it again.
mean an
You're doing it again,
infinite
bro.
number of ontologies.
You're doing it again.
It is
You think
still
like
only
speaking
one
slowly is gonna make
ontology.
you?
I think I
smarter.
have to
Like,
speak
this is just
slowly
rhetoric, bro.
for you to understand what is going on. This is stupidly simple.
Yeah,
If your only ontology is physical,
I'm gonna repeat my reply again.
it doesn't matter how long that ontology has existed.
God.
It is only one ontology.
That's not, dude. The issue here is that you don't know what an ontological commitment is, which is what's making you say, "Oh, well, it's one ontology," because you don't know what an ontological commitment is. Quine would define an ontological commitment.
Fucking defined it for you, dumbass.
You defined it incorrectly, and you didn't let me explain. You didn't let me explain it. An ontological commitment is just stating, okay, well, given a proposition that you take to be true, it's what you take to be true given that proposition. So, if you take a proposition to be true.
What am
what
I
you
required to take as true if a physical system is infinitely regressive?
Yeah, if you're committed to the proposition there exists an infinite regress, you would be committed to an infinite amount of events.
No, I am only required to commit to the physical always having existed. That's it.
Okay, let me
That's
let me
literally
explain it again
it.
for you.
That is one ontology, physicalism.
Do you believe? First off, that's not what the physicalism. That's not the claim of physicalism at all. Secondly, do you believe if someone states that
I didn't say that was a claim of physicalism. I'm saying that's the only ontology I require.
Let me finish. If someone claims that there exists this rock has existed eternally, would they be classified as being committed to the same view as you? Since you just said you'd be committed to the physical always have existing. Okay, someone believes that this rock, which is obviously physical,
I said that's the only required ontology.
Yeah, would they be having the exact same amount of ontological commitments as you, which is stating that there exists an infinite set of events?
When did I say an infinite set of events?
That's what an infinite regress was.
No, when I said an infinite temporal regress, right? I defined it for you. For any moment n, n minus 1 always exists.
By
This
the way,
isn't, I'm not talking about events. I'm just talking
stating that
about
time has always existed.
time.
You're just stating that for whichever
All
moment
right.
exists,
So
there exists a
now,
moment before it.
if physical
Okay, I agree with that.
exists within that temporal system always, then you can have an infinite regress of a physical system without an infinite number of ontologies. To say that that would require an infinite number of ontologies would say that the belief in a God would require an infinite number of ontologies, because the theist believes the God has existed infinitely. That's a ridiculous claim to make.
I gave you the example of someone who's
Either
stating, okay,
way,
well,
I'm
this
still more
rock,
parsimonious.
dude, you're not letting me finish. I gave you the example of someone stating, okay, well, there has always existed this rock. Would they be also having the same exact amount of ontological commitments as you? Obviously, your claim isn't just the physical has always existed, or that time has always existed. No, it's stating that there exists an infinite set of causal events.
You do understand I said
Like the
minimum
continuous.
required ontologies, not total ontologies. Somebody believing a rock exists infinitely, that doesn't state how many ontologies they hold. If the only thing discussing
Dude,
is the
they would
existence
have
of
one
one
ontological
physical
commitment given
object
the
existing
proposition.
infinitely, that's the exact same as me saying physical existing infinitely.
Okay, so under your view, everyone just has infinite ontological commitments if they believe that anything has existed eternally. They just have an infinite
I don't
amount of
hold to
ontological.
that at all. That's what you hold to.
No,
That's
but you
what
defined.
you were
No,
stating.
dog. My dog. We agreed on what an ontological commitment is, and you just said, okay, well, you'd be having.
Let's get back. Look,
No,
guys.
I said the ontology is the set of things
Guys,
that
listen.
must be accepted
Okay, we're going around in
for a
circles.
theory
Maybe
statement or scientific framework to work.
we're going around in circles. Maybe we could talk about something different. Okay, so like pseudo, do you believe that the types or the tokens are more ontologically burdensome?
Types of tokens.
Hold on, Getty, hold on. The amount of types or the amount of tokens are more ontologically burdensome?
So, like qualitative or quantitative parsimony?
No, I'm talking about whether or
No,
not
the map versus the location.
the amount of entities, the amount of tokens, or does the amount of types matter more in an ontological?
Yeah, that's qualitative or quantitative parsimony. It's the types of entities or the amount of entities.
Yeah. So which one do you think? Which one do you think is more burdensome? According to Quine, the types, the amount of types is more ontologically burdensome than the amount of tokens. Like for example,
Yeah, I mean, I would lean more towards saying the more particular things. So more.
why? Wait.
quantitative
Why?
parsimony.
Why would that be more burdensome? Because right, like when we're talking about the types, and we're talking about like some sort of infinite chain of contingent things, we see that there are contingent things, and then we see that every contingent thing has some cause, and then we could go regress that back infinitely. There's no problem because we're only positing one type of thing is things that have causes and things that are contingent, right? Those type of things. Now, when you add like some sort of necessary thing or some other type of thing, you have to give some reason as to why you adding more types.
Well, first off, you should know that even if you have less qualitative commitments, you're stating that less types of things exist, but more quantitative commitments. Like you would still have a bloated ontology. You'd still have a bloated ontology. You'd still be committed to the.
And also, we're not inflating just because, like for example, there's infinite regress of causes. It doesn't mean there's an infinite regress of actual things. That's not what that means. It just means that there's causes. That means there's something that was changed, right? There's some change in some sort of either essential property or some accidental property. It doesn't mean that there's more things specifically. It just means that they can change over time, and then whatever that changes is some sort of phenomenon that occurred.
But I don't know what that means.
It's also logically consistent to have an infinite regress of time that has a finite amount of time within.
Wait, you don't know what means, pseudo?
Like when you state, okay, well, by what I mean by an infinite regress is just change. Okay, well, change of what? I mean,
change in accidental properties or essential properties.
Accidental properties of what?
Of any type of particular.
That which exists.
Yeah.
So
Of any.
if anything, dude. I mean, I obviously change accidents every minute. So I mean, wouldn't that?
Yeah. So
Would
then
that be
there's
an
a cause, and
infinite?
there's a cause to that change. Is what we're saying. Yeah.
If there's no, can I ask a question?
Hold on. Love. Yeah. And then there's a cause to that change, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we're saying. We're saying there's an infinite amount of causes, but just because a lot of causes happen to you doesn't mean there's more things being positive every time there's a cause to you.
No. Well, the thing here. Listen, that's not what I'm arguing. Obviously, I don't think you'd be like committed to. I don't think like stating, like the cause itself is an ontological commitment. I'm stating that. So say like I don't know. Let me think of an example. Say my friend shoots like a soccer ball and it hits me and it causes me pain. Okay. What caused me pain is my friend shooting the soccer ball. But even like obviously I'm not committed to the cause itself, to like the idea of my friend shooting a soccer ball. It's not an ontological commitment. But I'd still be committed to my friend existing, and I'd be committed to the soccer ball existing.
Yeah, but we don't know. We don't know if like there's a finite amount of things that are just causing things to change over time, which is why we have like cyclical universes. We have cyclical models. Like for example, we have the CCC model, oscillating models, those type of things.
But if you have like if the universe is made up of finite objects, then like if you agree that the universe is finite, then that sort of defeats the whole purpose of
the universe. No, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. The infinite regress of causes would be like some cyclical notion of causes, right? Like for example, the universe.
What do you mean by cyclical?
Yeah, I'm trying to explain it. The universe expanding, contracting, and expanding again.
Oh, so you basically just mean that the universe, in a sort of like repeating itself.
Yes.
Infinitely?
Yeah. It could regress backwards infinitely. Yeah.
You can have a nonlinear
like
cyclic time.
Hold on, Matthew. But there's other types
like
of. There's also there's other different types of cyclical models as well. But
I know. But isn't this like the what's that one like silly like TikTok here? It's like the universe repeats itself. Whenever it ends, it just restarts again.
No, like it. Yeah, there's some cyclical models though. Like there's actual science.
There are literal physics.
Yeah, these are
models
serious.
based
Yeah, these are serious cosmological models that
PhD
exist.
physicists.
Yeah, there's serious cosmological models of these things.
Well, here's the issue. I mean, if we agree that the universe is growing infinitely, how would it contract?
Wait! Whoa! Who said it's growing infinitely?
Who said that?
There's actually some indication that it may not be growing infinitely. There's actually indication that that the acceleration might be slowing down. It could be the case. We're not saying it's positive, but
Yeah, that's the current consensus is the acceleration is slowing.
yeah, there's some black energy. Yeah, dark energy. There's some. There was at one point we thought it was stagnant, but now we're seeing it could be variable.
This actually reminds me. Do you guys know what the Hume-Edwards principle is?
Yeah, I do. It's if you sufficiently explain all the members of a set, you efficiently explain the whole of the sets.
Yeah, this sort of reminds me of it.
I mean, there's plenty of papers that came out that give reason to reject it.
I saw Joe Schmidt with what's his name, Alex O'Connor, and they were discussing it. Schmidt said, like, say you have this cannonball, and the cannonball's like current state is explained by its previous state or whatever, something like that. It doesn't explain why the cannonball was shot in the first place, or how it got into the air.
I'm not. Well, presumably. I mean,
So that would just mean a member of the set is not sufficiently explained.
yeah,
The set here is just referring to the cannonball.
Like Pruss's objection, or Proust, whatever the fuck his name is.
Plus,
Proust.
I call him Pruss, but he wants to argue that all these things exist as like some like higher order fact that wouldn't be explained by the exponents in the chain, and that because the fact that these things could in principle form something that's like unified, it's not entailed by the fact that each exists independently.
Wait, by the way, can you tell me what was it called again? The conject of all contingents? The
BCCF.
ECCF?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna look into that, bro. But like usually, I've only like read the SCP article that discusses the it mentions the argument.
So
But I think the argument.
where do you think
I
that
think
all things originate out of? Like
Well,
Hold on, Lone. We don't want to. Oh, damn. We have to explain a lot of shit.
Rar.
That's gonna be. I'd rather talk to Pseudo at this point. Go ahead.
The reason people usually invoke the BCCF is it's really just the exhaustive conjunction of all contingent truths. Usually it's the BCF equals F1 and F2 and F3, where F1 is a contingent fact and so on. So the fact that itself is contingent is because each conjunct is contingent. But usually, the reason why I brought it up is because most modern contingency arguments usually appeal to it, or
I think
they do with the PSR.
I think I may have read about this. I think this was in reply to Bertrand Russell's objection that the universe could be brute. So then people argued against him by saying, okay, well, the contents of the universe seem to be contingent. So we're to assume that the universe is contingent. Yeah. I read about this like 2 years ago, bro.
But there's also usually since it's bundled with the PSR, you can sort of give a counterexample to the PSR in which entails modal collapse.
Oh yeah. This is also a common objection I've heard, that it would entail modal collapse.
Now the
This
save
would
is
explain the universe in every possible.
Yeah, the strong PSR entails motor classes. There's a lot of problems with that. I don't think you want to hold to necessitarianism, man.
the obvious save if you hold to those two in conjunction is to just reject the BCCF. And that's pretty much the obvious save.
But that's just sort of rejecting the entire argument.
And you can still formulate the argument in which it isn't dependent on like the big conjunction, the contingent fact.
Which would be like what? Leibniz formulation?
You could, but I don't really see an issue with this formulation. Here, wait, I'm gonna see if I can find one.
Oh, bro, I miss like reading into philosophy. But
yeah.
I think this was an interest.
You don't seem to have an issue with like what I'm saying with the cyclical models, though.
The cyclical model. I haven't looked into it.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.